Greetings, gang. Okay, we are out in the garage today, and this is the start of me doing the build for my homemade indoor greenhouse. And as I've told you guys many times before, Mrs. P and I are trying to move our seed starting out to the garage rather than be in one of the bedrooms in the house. So I wanted to show you what I was doing. A few of you guys have asked, but I'll give you kind of what's going on here. So, I'm going to turn myself around. We're going to start. This is the work table that I built. Okay, it is 12 by 4, sheet and a half of plywood on top. Because there is a shelf on the bottom. That again is 12 by 4. What we're going to do is turn the shelf in the bottom into a greenhouse. So, what the idea is, and I'm going to try to show you here real quick from underneath, is when I built this, I built it like you would build a wall. All right, I know this is probably kind of difficult to understand, but this is the underside of the tabletop. And all the 2x4 studs in there are on 16-inch centers. So what I'm going to do is put a light in between each stud, and then on each stud, and between each stud and all the way. So I will have lights every 8 inches. All right, get back up here. Now, if you guys remember the lights that I have, they're just me using the same ones I had before. These right here, they are your regular white LED shop lights. Now, you got to make sure you got Kelvin and you got lumens correct for these. Both of these are fine. I've used these for 3 years now. This will be year number 4. There is no electricity in the garage as of yet. There's still a lot of work I have to do. It's wired, but it is not connected to the grid or anything. So right now, those lights are running on my Delta 1300. And if you look at it here, it is pulling a whopping 116 watts. No big deal. I'm going to have 17 of those lights. That's 6. So if I've got 3 more, that's going to get me up to what? 350 watts that I'll pull to do these. What I'm going to do is mount them underneath with the same little clips they come with, these, and start building this in. So let me put all these lights in, and I will show you where I go from there. All right, moving right along, there are the first 6 in. So you kind of get an idea what I'm doing. So let me get the rest going. And once I got 17 in, then we'll go from there. All right, guys. So the lights are all in. And my next step is to be hooking this puppy up. And what this is a greenhouse heater. And it's probably bigger than what I need. It's a BioGreen Palma heater. All right. This thing will heat up to 120 square feet. Why they don't talk about cubic feet, I have no idea. Now, I only have 48 square feet. It's fine, no big deal. Just means it's not going to have to run as long. But I looked this up, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube, people reviewing it. Apparently this thing is really good, okay? But the whole point is I want this in the greenhouse that's in my garage that is not insulated. So what I need to do to put this up, and I've also got the thermostat for it, so I can set my thermostat, probably set it from somewhere around 70 degrees. It'll turn this on when it's under 70, keep it 70 degrees inside. This will all be enclosed. You'll see that as I get there. But I've got to set this up with the, if you can see this, it's basically the thermostatic wire. So I'll put this almost all the way on the other end so I know I've got heat flowing through the whole thing. So this is what I'm putting in. I'll show you what I'm doing with this. All right, so I've determined where I want to put this. I'm going to put it on the outside here, and I've drilled a couple of pilot holes in real quick. I want it on the outside because I want access to it, but I will just screw it in top or bottom, because right here, if you can see that, this is where the plug goes for the heating unit, and then I'll run the thermometer, if you will, all along the side here. Because everything on the sides here is all going to be covered in plastic. And I don't want to put this on until after the plastic's on, and then I will have everything done. But that's where this is going to go, and then the heater itself will sit, I think it's got to be 16 inches from the side or whatever it would be. So it'll be centered somewhat in there. So this is the theory for heating it. All right, so now after watching last week's video, you guys know that the only way I want to heat my plants is not just from the heat in the air, but some of them need to be heated from underneath. The soil needs to be warm enough. Tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, yada, yada, yada. So, I got going on here. There is the heat mat I had for the last few years, and then there's a couple of new ones, okay? And so they lay out, fit really nice. They are 4 feet long, okay? And so with my 4 foot wide deal here, they go end to end. And then that leaves me all the space over there that I don't need to put under, radiant heating, I guess, if you will, on the seed trays. So I've got all of this running on my Delta 1300 right now. So all the lights and the heat mats, and they are taking about 650 watts total. What does that mean? That means that I'm not going to be able to run all of this for more than a couple hours on that generator. Hence, having the pass-through where I can run an extension cord from the house out there and do it that way. So I've got the battery charged at the same time as running through this, or I can use one of my bigger generators. I haven't hauled a bigger one out yet. I don't need to do it while I'm setting this up. So we'll test that later on down the road. So now, once I get all this set up, the next step is putting the plastic on the outside. All right, guys, now I got the plastic done. And now we get to do a little bit of testings, but I want to show you what I did here. So, flipper. So obviously the heat mats are there. You can see on that side, the plastic's up, and on this side, the plastic's up. In the back over there, I've got my 1300. There's the heater set up. You can't really see it on the other side of the plastic there, but there's the Delta Pro, and that one's set up for the heater. What I'm trying to figure out here is what I need, if the temperature will stay to what I want, okay? So that's kind of the idea. Now, how I did this, if you can see on the top here, using garbage, right? So I had some old scrap 1-inch PVC, and so that's what I used. So if I put this up here and flip it over, there we go. You'll see what I have. Let's see if I can tip the camera down a little bit. There you go. So what I did, I put it just so I can roll it out, and it's a 10-foot piece of PVC on a 12-foot deal. And then if I roll it all the way down, you guys can look at the top of my head, okay? This is what I wind up with. And I'll flip over again. So now, the plastic is all the way rolled down to the floor. And it's not sealed yet, but I'll show you what I'm going to do. So let me do the roll down the other side of the plastic, and then we're going to do first test. Okay, so I have closed all the plastic up on all sides. Like I said, it's not sealed. I'm going to do that yet, but I want to see how fast this comes to temperature. Now I've got the lights on. I just turned them on a second ago, and I've got the heat mats on. Those are running off the 1300. What I want to do is turn on the heater, and we're going to see what happens here. All right, heater's kicked on. So it is 58 degrees in there right now, and I've got it set to go to 70. So I want to see, A, how long it takes to get up to temperature inside. It's going quick. There's 59 already. And I want to see how much juice it needs to do it. So I'm going to check a clock, and I will tell you where we go. Okay, You guys are going to laugh. You see, it's now at 71. The heater kicked off at 70 degrees, and now it's still climbing in there. It took 3 minutes. I kid you not. 3 minutes to go from 57 to 70 before the heater shut off. Now, the lights give off a little bit of heat, of course. The heat mats are in there as well. But to give you an idea, I'm thinking that's pretty damn successful as to what's going on. And like I said, mind you, this isn't even sealed yet. You know, it's just hanging over the edge. I'm still going to seal it. So that'll be the next step, but I'm waiting on Velcro to come in the mail. And when that shows up, I will go there. So now what I'm going to do is see how long it holds temperature before it drops again. Okay, it's been a half an hour, and the temperature has not dropped at all. So, and the heater has never come on. So I figure I'm going to unplug the heat mats and see what that does. All right, so that made a difference. I turned off the heat mat, which obviously was radiating some heat, and it dropped down to 68 after about 20 minutes. And it's going to go, it hit 68, and my heater came back on. You saw it flash to 69, and you're going to probably see it flash to 70 any second. Well, the heat mats aren't in there too. But this setup looks like it works really well, guys. And like I said, it ain't even sealed yet. All right, so let's have some fun now, right? I haven't even finished this thing. And like I said, I haven't sealed it. The Velcro will come next week. But let's see if it works. So I'm going to make this as difficult as I can. I took last year's potting soil, okay, put some fertilizer in it and did my typical try to restore growing medium, okay? If you haven't seen that video, it's on a playlist. Put it in half-pint mason jars. And I know everybody's going to say, why half-pint mason jars? You can't get it out, yada, yada. This is an experiment, okay? I want to see the roots grow. I want to be able to see it, okay? So what I've decided to do is take some seeds that I have that are 3 years old. This one's actually 4. Cabbage. And this one is 3-year-old, if you can see that. Get my finger out of the way. Lettuce. So I got 3 of each. So I'm going to use old soil with old seeds in here and see if I get anything to sprout at the end of December in my garage. Let's see if this works. What the hell, we got to figure out if we can grow food in the winter, right, guys? So this is what I got. Heater's down there. Cabbage is over there. Lettuce is over there. I've got it as far away from the heater as I can with old soil, with old seeds in this greenhouse, if you want to call it a greenhouse. Let's see if we get anywhere. Next week, when I put the Velcro in here, I'll give you an update. But this ought to be interesting to see if it works. Because if it does, for me, this is... All right, guys, so that's basically what I got going on here. Not done, but I want to give you this. This is right now a completely off-grid greenhouse, okay? Inside. I'm running it on my Delta Pro and my 1300. With what I just set up, my Delta Pro will run the lights for about 18 hours, okay? The heater comes on every once in a blue moon. You guys saw that every once in a half hour. It's got to run for 2 minutes or whatever. That's fine. Now, when I finally can finish the garage, which who knows how long that's going to be, I can plug this into electricity. The other thing I will do is set up a timer on my lights. So the lights are, Christmas tree timer or whatever, light timer. So the lights aren't running 24 hours. Right now, lights don't matter. I mean, I had it on there so you guys could see what I was doing. But until they germinate, lights don't matter. But this This is an idea. I mean, I've never seen this done. We'll see if it works. If it works and I can grow lettuce and cabbage in my garage with no sunshine whatsoever in the winter, there's food. Now, I know I can't grow tomatoes or peppers, especially the space size. You're certainly not going to get it. But if I can grow leafy vegetables and have some sustenance, that's a good thing. We'll see how this works, and I will definitely keep you guys updated, but take this as an idea. Maybe there's, like everything else, okay? Maybe there's some way you can adapt what I'm trying to do to your situation. Maybe you don't have a garage. Maybe you don't have a place for a 12 by 4 table. Make it a 4 by 4 one. You don't need as big of a heater or whatever it would be. Ideas. This is what we're trying to share so we can feed ourselves and move forward. That's kind of the whole point of this, guys. Enjoy. Pinball out.